Hey, I'm probably not going to talk to you. I'm probably not going to talk too much tonight. I think I'm going to have a couple people come in and anyway, how you doing, Liza? It's good to see you. Thanks for coming. I'm at a restaurant, so my voice is very loud. There's one person behind me, but he's got headphones on. But I'll see how it goes. No one's looking at me yet, so that might be a good sign. Can you hear this very clearly, Liza, when I talk this quiet? When I talk this quiet? How about now? Oh, good. Hey, OTC, how you doing? I won't be talking much because I'm at a restaurant. My voice is very loud. But OTC, Santa Joe, yes, I can hear you. That's good to hear. So far, no one's looked at me, but I'm sure over 2 or 3 or 4 hours they'll look at me. Hey, all. Hey, Neil, how you doing? Joe Hart here. I probably won't talk too much. I saw you at the court thing today. Did you see the really bad video? I haven't deleted that one yet, but I want to talk to a couple other people. Are you Oh, you did see it. Yeah, they made me leave. I mean, I'm a numbers guy, so I like to. I probably won't talk about it much because I'm really upset about it still. Yes, saw your short video. Well, it was 12 minutes, I think, and 5 of the minutes, my phone was in my pocket, so it was dark. But I'm a numbers guy. I'm a numbers guy, and if I had to say who's at fault, I would say I was probably 15, 20% at fault, and then they just misunderstood. Um, yeah, I screwed up. I had a golden ticket. I uh, I left Vermont and drove straight to Stroudsburg, and I got there. It was a disaster trying to get there, but I got there and um, I forget. I think I was getting there about 1 o'clock, and supposedly they opened the court at 3. So I just kept talking to people and saying, "Hey, where I'm supposed to get checked in?" And they said, "Oh, talk to the sheriffs." And so I kept, and so at first, right inside the courthouse, they said, "Oh, you can't bring your umbrella. You got to leave your umbrella out here. You can't bring your bag." I was like, "Okay, I'm going to run back to my car and drop everything off." And I overpack. I have waters and chargers, and I just overpack. That's my disabilities. So yeah, I went back, and they said, I mean, when I walked in, they were on the first floor, and on the second floor, there's about 4 cops screaming down, saying, "Shut everything down! Don't let anybody in." And so they said, "Oh, I'm sorry that you came back. You can't go in." And then they're like, and I said, "Well," I said, "Yeah, I don't care about that it's 2 instead of 1. I don't care when I get in, but I just want to be sure that I'm one of them." And they said, "Oh, we'll get you in. That's no problem." And they said, "Here, let me get your name, and I'll put you on the list." And I wasn't on the list. I didn't get on the list. So they put my name down, and they said, "Go upstairs." And I was like, "You just told me not to go upstairs." So I went through the metal detector, which was disastrous because I had a million things. So I got through and went upstairs and tried to find a comfortable place to sit. And the court room was right up there. So I went up to the courtroom, and I just looked in the door. I didn't touch the doorknob or open the door, but I just looked in until someone came to the door, and I said, "Hi, I'm in town from Vermont. I'm a media person. I'm disabled. I usually get ADA accommodations to check in early and stuff." I said, "I'm really anxious, so I need to sit in a pretty good place." And They said, oh, great. I said, yeah, I'm hoping to tweet. I'm hoping to tweet during the whole thing. They said, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. So they're like, come back at 2:45. And then they were like, no, come back at 2:30. And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, they gave me a golden ticket, and I had to screw it up. Not really. I didn't really screw it up, but I did enough of it. So anyway, I came, to the waiting area of sorts from the courtroom. And I was about to sit down, but there was some stuff on a chair. And I said, oh, did you just get up from here? And she said, oh, no. And I said, okay. And she said, are you media? And I said, yep. And she said, with who? And I was like, I'm independent. She said, oh, everybody's got to wait downstairs. And I said, well, and then she talked for like 5 minutes. And finally I said, I'll do exactly what you want me to, but just to let you know, I'm disabled, and I was asking for ADA accommodations so I can have equal accessibility. And she said, oh, no problem. You can just sit down. So I sat down, anxious, taking out my iPad and, trying to get on the Wi-Fi and all sorts of stuff. And I had about 40 minutes or 50 minutes or something like that. So I was like, okay, maybe I can live stream real quick. So I wanted to live stream on Twitter and live stream on StreamYard. It's different than I've ever done on either. Well, it's kind of similar to Twitter, but I've never done a quick one on StreamYard. So I got on Twitter. Oh, okay. So my voice is really loud. And I didn't feel comfortable. I mean, there's like 8 or 10 media people. They're all like CNN and NBC and CBS. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So my voice would carry. So I stepped away. I went down the hall, and I was going to start streaming. And normally, or a different part of this story, I'm an advocate for the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. And the best way to invoke that is to immediately say, hi, I'm Joe. I'm a person with disabilities, primarily invisible disabilities, and I need to ask for ADA accommodations for equal accessibility. So I did that earlier at 2 or 3 different times through the morning or day, but I just didn't do it at that moment. I didn't grab someone and say, hey, by the way, my voice is loud. I'm going to live stream Twitter and StreamYard, and then come back and sit here and wait until 2:30 and then go into the room like you said I could. But I didn't do that. So I went back in the hallway, and I was like, And then I saw this different hallway to the bathrooms. I got in that. And then there was this back door to like the stairwell. So I went back there, and it was a little tight, but it was like a sound room. It was I could be pretty loud, and no one was there. But there's, probably once a minute or once every 2 minutes, someone came in either direction of the door. Anyway, there was this, and it was a tight fit. And, like cops would come by and say, hey, are you media? And I was like, yeah, I'm just live streaming right now before I go into the courtyard. And I didn't really say it that smoothly, but I said it that nicely. So anyway, there was this one woman who was going out the building and opened the door, and she ended up being about 1.5 feet, 2 feet away from me. And she kind of shrieked. She said, wow, you startled me. Wow. And then immediately she starts staring at me, and she's like, are you supposed to be here? And I was like, yeah, I'm media. I'm just live streaming. And she's like, well, why are you here? Why aren't you in the hallway? And I was like, my voice is loud. And it just escalated a little bit. And I said, Jesus Christ. And that's all I said. Sorry for all the, I was hoping they would let me in. I was too. So anyway, I said I didn't want to talk about it. Here I am. But I'm surprised at how calm I am, because it really upsets me. But so she frantically went out the second door, and I knew, something was going to snowball from there. And within 20 seconds, a cop came. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it was wild. So, in about, 20 seconds, someone came from the first floor to the second floor, and he said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm media. I'm waiting to get into but I'm live streaming now. My voice carries. And he's like, well, you can't be in here. I'm like, okay. So I went out back near the bathrooms, and then there was a couple cops. Everybody are cops in this building. So there was a couple cops, and they had guns. They had AK-47. So I went up to them and I said, "Hey, you probably anyway. I can't be in that stairwell, but my voice carries. So I want to get into a corner." And I was like, "How about this? How about that? How about this?" And they're like, "Yeah." They looked a little confused, but they wanted to help me. So I, first there was one corner, but I was facing toward the courthouse. I didn't want to do that. And there was a water fountain area, which was kind of good for my loud voice. But then there was a bathroom, and it wasn't very busy. So I went back to the bathroom. The hallway outside of the bathroom, and I just got there. And by the way, I don't know if anybody out there are StreamYard masters. I'm trying to figure out how to save the video, but make it hidden or secret or private or something like that. I don't know if that can be done because I don't want to delete it, but I don't like to delete anything. I'm already up near my 50 hours, so I'm going to have to delete something, but I don't want to delete. But I guess I will. Anyway, they seemed to be okay with me. So I went back near the bathroom and I started streaming. And now that I thought I didn't realize that I streamed, and I thought I just privated. Can you do that too? So you can do that in StreamYard? I assume you can. You can private it. Okay, I'll try to figure that out. I spent quite a few hours over there today. You can private it. Okay. So yeah, that's what anyway. So another guy came by. We're in the bathroom. Oh, so I started. Okay, good. Thanks, OTC. So after it happened, I thought I pulled it out of my pocket. And I was like, oh God, you're live. So you must have heard all that. Ask Scarlett. She knows better. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, Bridget, Brittany, or Scarlett. Yes, I definitely want to private it before too many people see it. But it's not the end of the world. But it's not the end of the world. But with my self-esteem and the way it went. So anyway, this other guy, he's like, are you media or are you live streaming or something? And I said, yeah. And he immediately goes out in the hallway and waves people back. So I go out in the hallway to see what he's doing. And he's waving, and there's 8 cops coming my way, 2 with AK-45s. They're I don't know if you've been around places. AK-45s on cops are pretty common these days. Since 9/11 and COVID, it's really common. But their finger is resting on the trigger. That's pretty common. So they're walking toward me, and I'm like, holy shit. So a couple of them I recognized, a couple of them I did not. And I said, hey, I didn't mean to get into an argument with that one woman. And he said, nope, you're gone. You have to leave. You lied to us. You told me, you said you're going to tweet, but you're live streaming. You lied. I was like, I'm trying to, and they interrupted me. Well, you saw the tape. But yeah, they kept interrupting me, and I was like, can I tell my story to anybody? And they were like, nope, you're out. I'm like, I didn't mean to, I didn't mean to say, Jesus Christ. Again, I don't mean to, I was born and raised a Catholic, so I don't want to offend anyone. I'm not a practicing Catholic, but I guess I'm a recovering Catholic. But anyway, it's you can try to get in the Idaho Trail if you want to go that far. LOL. Yeah, I took a risk to come out here. And hey, Lady B, how are you? Never ever tell them you're live streaming. They hate that stuff. Yeah, they really do. Which I've been doing it for 10 years in motorsports, and I knew that. But I don't like lying. I mean, that's why they threw me out, is because I was lying. But anyway, I took a risk. They didn't want people in the car. Right. And that's why I agreed to, I said they probably thought you might do that. Right. That's why they threw me out. Correct. Because they thought I was lying. If I'm live streaming outside the court, then I'm going to live stream inside the court. And I said, no, I'm going to live tweet. Actually, Brian Enton, he said, and I don't know what's true, but he said, you can't have cameras in the courthouse and you can't live tweet. And I'm like, again, I told them that's what I was doing, and they're inviting me in. They were showing me I briefly got into the courtroom, and they showed me where I could sit. And I was like, well, if it's okay, I'd like to walk around the whole room, check, electrical outlets and how tight the seats are, and that. They probably thought you might do that. Yeah, they for sure. So Lady V, hello, and you're welcome to come up here. That would be great if you did. I don't really know how I'm going to do this without talking very loud, but the closest person to me in the restaurant has headphones on. Looks like really high end, like Bose or something. So hopefully, and it's so late that all the restaurant people are in the back of the kitchen. That's at this time of day, it's usually just the cooks. And the cooks come up front and bring up the order and then go cook it. So anyway, let me invite and copy. Yeah. Please come up. Let me close that. And if I talk quietly, I guess that would mean that Tiananmen Square today was excellent, delicious burgers, extradition Tuesday. You are funny. Yeah, man. I don't know if anybody has any update. Here it is, Lady V. I'm going to hit it now, and it's going to post 3 different times. So Tiananmen, I think I asked you before if that's a play on words of the actual Tiananmen. I never knew how to pronounce that name, but I'm guessing I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So therefore, I'm probably pronouncing the place correctly. 2,500 miles. How far is your drive? Oh, there's Lady B. Hold on, no TC. So I will add you in 3, 2, 1. Hi, Lady B.
Hey, Joe.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Did you
Good.
get some rest?
No, but the shower was good and the food was good. And what was the third thing? So, there was something else. Wi-Fi. So yeah, I guess rest is optional. So let's see here. So OTC said, how far is your drive? I haven't checked from here. And I don't know.
About how many hours
To Idaho?
did it take you?
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, to from Vermont to Stroudsburg. That was, exactly what my phone said, 4 hours and 40 minutes. I had some, yeah, it was real quick. I don't mind those at all. And
yeah, I drive that a lot.
I would love to do Idaho, but I didn't, anyway, I have done some fundraising before, and I've been successful before, but gas to Idaho is $800. I mean, 400 there and 400 back. So that's a pretty major, although I was about to ask if anybody has heard any update on if he's actually en route to Idaho, because, during the press conference, it sounded like it was going to be in a, he wouldn't really answer, he's like in a, soon.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't tonight sometime, Joe.
Well, that's what everybody kept grilling him. And he was like, I'm not going to tell you, not going to tell you. And then finally one woman said, so are you saying it's impossible for it to happen tonight? And he said, it's high. I mean, he denied it. And then he said, yes, it would be highly unlikely that it happened tonight. Now, I think they don't want people to know,
Yeah, they don't want anybody to know.
you know, and, I'm here and, I may have one or two or three, I may have more time with him in Pennsylvania. So, not that sleep is optional, but I was, after this stream, I was thinking of just going to the jail and, Brian Ensign would be there. By the way, I talked to Brian Ensign today. I met him
Yeah,
and
I was
stuff.
getting ready to ask you if you got to talk to anybody.
Well, I talked to him. Um, it was nice. It was short. It was a minute or two. And I was a fanboy, so it didn't go very, I think I did okay. But with my disabilities and excitement and stuff, but he said, "Oh, that makes me feel so good. Thank you, Joe." You know, he,
Did
he
any of them have a clue as to when they thought he was going to leave?
well, I asked him in particular, and oh no, what I said, so are you gonna, it was 5 o'clock or 4:30 or whatever, just right after Brian left the courthouse, and I said, so are you going to Idaho immediately? And he went, no, we're going to Idaho tomorrow morning. We're going to finish up reporting. And he said, have you heard? He asked me if if I had heard anything, and I
Oh,
said,
wow.
I've heard stuff, and he was like, is it a reputable? And I'm like, well, I didn't know the person, so I don't know how reputable it was. But I said, I said, we're in the back of the building. He was in the front of the building. So we were in the back of the building. I said, there was about 25 cameras. We all got Brian walking from the building to his van and the two cops in front of him and the two cops behind him taking off. And it was kind of collective there, maybe two or three or four camera people, not necessarily NBC, but certainly high end cameras for sure. Um, and they all said he went to Allegheny, which they told me was the name of the airport, and they were going to
Right.
take, and they were going to go immediately, and they were going to take Con Air. And I said, Con Air is a movie. Is Con Air a real thing? And they're like, yep. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's a real thing. You don't hear about it very often, though.
So yeah. But anyway, I told him that story, and I was like, I don't. I would say it's fairly reputable, but then I smiled at him and I said, but you could confirm that in 2 minutes, in two
Yeah.
minutes with your contacts. And he went, oh no, that's no, but immediately he was like, okay, I got to get back. So he got back to his phone, and I'm like, he's going to confirm that. But anyway, we were wrong. Like uh, 10 minutes later or 15 minutes later, Brian says, so Brian, the Brian with a Y,
Right.
the suspect, is back at the jail. And I was like, God, is that, and I wanted to make sure that that was a current one. And it was. And I'm like, fuck, he did confirm it. And then
Yeah,
I
there's
saw,
a lot they have to do to process him out.
and and I don't know if you saw the press conference, but I love press conferences.
I do too.
I think them talking and answering questions or not answering questions, are they're great. There's sources of it, but he made it, probably 4 or 5 times to that many questions. He said, we are still negotiating getting him transport, and so it's not like they don't sign the paper and say, you're going to drive or fly and see you later. There was a negotiation. So, um, is that you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to turn this down a bit.
Oh, I thought that was your voice. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
Um,
no, it's not mine. I'm sorry.
oh no, that's all right. So, anyway, it was a hell of a day for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know that had to be really disappointing, but I honestly think they were being jerks, to be honest, because other people were out there reporting, and they should have been fine with you out there and just made sure you didn't do it inside. I mean,
It,
there was a camera right there by you that was recording everything. So I'm like, What's the deal?
And
Because you're media, so I don't understand why they had an issue.
yeah, well, I wasn't on the list, and those big cameras were on the list. But when I walked into the building, not expecting to get anywhere, they said, they looked at my badge and they said, "Hey, what's your name?" I mean, they wanted to look at the badge, but they got my name from it, and they started looking. And I'm like, I don't think I'm on the list. So they looked, and they're like, "No, that's all right, but we'll get you on the list." And so I had to go back a couple of times, and they wanted me to put my bag in my car and my umbrella in the car, and they didn't want anything in the building. And I'm overpacked because I have all these devices with chargers. Um,
Right.
but they were nice as anything, and they said we will get you on the list. So upstairs, when they're screaming at me, I'm like, or they weren't screaming, but they were being firm. And I said, I'm the two gentlemen, which every person in that building are cops. So I don't know what to call them. So I just call them gentlemen. I said, those two gentlemen downstairs put me on the list. He's like, what two gentlemen? I was like, the two right inside the door when he's like, nope, you lied. You're going. And I'm like, I didn't lie. But anyway.
Well, I think, there was a couple of YouTubers that were streaming during a certain court case, and I think they're put everybody on high alert for people that they may suspect would do that, even though
Yeah.
you went nip. But I have to give you kudos and respect for being honest too.
I do it. I have seen the tape now, and I don't think I come off believable. I don't think I was. I don't think I come off believable, but I was telling the truth. But
Well,
anyway,
I know. So I'm curious to know what all happened, who all you maybe saw or got to talk to, or even any information. Did you get to see like his family or anything? I heard that he was kind of interacting with the family.
he was. I didn't. I wasn't in the courtroom at all. But yeah, I had heard that he would look at his family and he would either acknowledge them by nodding or somehow with eye contact. And but no, I saw the family enter the room, enter the building, and I filmed it. And I don't. I think it was Twitter. I'm not sure which one. But I. But I'm not NBC, so I'm not going to be front row. I'm going to be second or third row, and I'm not that tall. So I mean, it's a lot of So it's a lot of blocked view. But I try to put my device way up there. So I guess after they went inside, there was talking of who just walked by us. So um, it appeared that for sure it was his mother, who was completely wrapped up like COVID. Just
Oh yeah, she was completely covered.
yeah, there was not eyes, there wasn't hair, there was nothing. She was completely covered, and then a blonde, a younger blonde holding the mother, which I guess is his sister. I guess he has two sisters, but that was the one.
Yeah.
And then I completely missed the dad. That would have been the person that I would want to focus on because he drove the trip. But
Right.
a few people said, we're not really sure, but we think the last person that walked in was the dad. The first person was the lawyer. And then there was about maybe six people from the car. So
Yeah,
anyway,
he had a pretty large mask on his face too, so it'd be hard to tell.
now what did you see? Did you see inside the court?
No, they wouldn't. They didn't allow any taping from
Mm,
anybody that I've seen inside the court at all.
yeah, I guess I should know that by now. But so where did you see his covered up face?
Oh, I saw them when they were walking in on some stream. I've been on a lot today, so I don't I don't remember
Oh,
which one.
wow. I might have to
I
check that
think
out.
it was criminality.
Oh, cool. I might check that out.
She and I don't know where she got the stream from, to be honest with you, but yeah, they were. You could see them walking in, and the mom was all hunched over and completely covered, and then you could see the sister's eyes a little bit, and then you could see what I'm assuming is his father,
Hmm.
and he had a pretty large mask on.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so all you could, and he had a hat on, so all you could really see is like his eyes too.
Wow.
And I, people tend to get mad at the whole family when somebody does something like this.
Right.
But depending on how much they knew and how much they suspected and all of that, I mean, they might have had no clue, because I honestly think he's kind of been working on this since he was a teenager, to be honest with you. I think he made a plan between his junior and senior year. I think he made a plan, and I think he carried through with what he wanted to do. So I think he's been planning this part of going to school and everything. BTK did the same thing. BTK, he went
Oh,
into he took some criminal uh, law cases and all that too. So
golly. Whew, that's crazy.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know, of course, but
Yeah.
to me, that's what it looks like.
Amen. So let's see here. Liza was the first person. I'm going to go through the comments.
Okay.
Uh, they're all short, but there's a bunch of them. There's probably 20 or 30 of them. But so Liza was the first person here, and I typed "Hey Liza," but I also said "Hey Liza," and she never responded. And I think my Wi-Fi is. I, 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 I haven't been on StreamYard enough to know what a weak Wi-Fi signal, how to fix the stream. But she never responded, and she always says hello to me. Um, so anyway, Liza says hello, Joe, and JoeHart says hello, Liza. Hey, Liza. Hey, Liza. Hey, Liza. And oh, there's an error on Twitch. I can't even highlight. OTC, Santa Joe. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, OTC. And then Neil, hey all. Now I think Neil only responded once too. So again, I'm learning, and people can come and go all they want, and they can be doing their dishes. I mean, there's plenty of reasons that they just respond once. But I only care about my Wi-Fi. If that's the reason.
Well, your Wi-Fi to me is really good.
Well, good, thanks. I got on it, then I scheduled the thing, and then I got in touch with you. No, as I was getting in touch with you, I did a test, and it was lousy. I mean, it was uh, it was about the worst, uh, reading that I've had at these truck stops. I'm like, man, that's not going to show anything. So yeah, thank you. I don't know how it did it. So
Yeah,
OT,
right now it's really good. I mean, are you staying someplace? Or are you camping out in your car?
I sleep in the car. I I sleep at truck stops. I sleep in the car, and then I take showers at the truck stops. So it's I've been doing it for 12 years at motorsports events.
Yeah,
So
my husband and I have done it before. I get you.
and again, I don't expect to do Idaho. I did get some feelers out, and I haven't heard back from them yet. And if I happen to be blessed with Brian being in Pennsylvania for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days, then I might just try it and just do a lot of do fundraising and just say, hey, let's just see if I can get $800 because it's 400 there and 400 back. So I've done this before. I've made a trip like that with only half the money, which is kind of risky because you can't drive
Yeah,
back.
well, that's true.
So anyway, if he I don't know, so if he ships out, which I don't know if we'll know, like when he leaves, I bet we won't know until he gets to
Yeah, no, I
Idaho.
don't think he'll know, and I don't think we'll know until he gets to Idaho. And I would be surprised if we actually saw him in Idaho. They'll probably take him inside,
Mm,
and then in a van or whatever, take him inside and unload him in there is what I'm thinking they might do.
yeah,
I
I
did
would.
notice today, though, when he got out of the van,
Yeah.
the first thing he did was look over and see how many people were watching him.
Well, one of those times he was looking at me,
That's
but
scary.
yeah, I mean not me, but the 25 cameras on
Right.
the side. But uh, and again, to follow up with him interacting with his family, uh, and I think this was Court TV. I don't know who it was. I've been watching a lot of things today too, but um, someone said, and then Brian interacted with one more young female and tried to interact with her and do a nod or whatever. And then I think they said,
Who was
and I,
that?
well, yeah, I think at the end they said, and I think that's his sister. But they,
Oh,
but they had already said, he said hi to mom, he said hi to the blonde sister, he said hi to dad, and so it was, I guess the second sister could be separate from the family, but
yeah. I don't. That wouldn't make sense to me.
it was strange. It was strange to, I mean, but I know there's enough women and men in this world that like, you know, BKs and, whatever, what's it, SKs, they like those kind of people.
Oh
So
yeah,
he'll be getting letters in jail. And, I mean, so
you're
he,
right on that.
he could have been looking for a, a
A
love
pen
interest.
pal.
Yeah. Or a love interest or, everybody's
Yeah.
like, everybody's like, is he asexual? What how come we haven't heard of any girlfriends
Well,
or boyfriends or,
have you heard? He did have a, well, allegedly, this girl came on. God, I wish I need it.
sure.
I think it was on Alex Erickson's channel,
Okay.
and there was allegedly a girl that was allegedly his girlfriend at one time,
Oh my goodness.
and she said that he seemed nice and he smelled good, and I was like, what? Yeah, and he smelled good, but then I don't know if she thought he was kind of strange in some areas, and she said something about she was wondering if maybe he was in a cult of some kind or whatever.
Oh wow.
I don't see that, but I think she didn't really know how to explain it. But who knows if she was really truly his girlfriend or not? I mean, she did contradict herself a few times, but
Which
but
I
we
mean,
can,
what?
all of us can do that from time to time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't hear, so I don't know if it was believable or not. But yeah, I was nervous today when I was answering those questions with the cops. Not every word was the right word, and I didn't say it calmly. I mean, so people can do that. Now, just so I begin to understand, um, it sounded like you were saying, that it would be Erickson's stream or whatever, but it sounded like you were talking about it wasn't an article that Alex was showing
No, it
you.
was a video.
Oh,
It was
okay.
it was a video of this girl.
That's what I was going to ask. I thought it might have been a viewer that came into her stream and said, "Hey, I'm a girlfriend, by the way." And
No,
then,
I think it might have been from TikTok.
oh, really? That, yeah. I mean, and it makes sense. I mean, rarely do you have zero relationships, but
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know. I haven't explored it more. I'm sorry. I've been trying to catch up on my laundry since the holidays.
oh, sure, sure.
So I was kind of running in and out listening while I was downstairs and stuff. I did get to see her. I'm pretty positive it was on Alex's channel.
Oh,
So
wow.
you might want to maybe take a look at that or see if you can find it on TikTok or something. I might look on there and see if I can find it.
Okay. I love Alex, and I like to see all her stuff. So that's another question. So are you saying it's Alex's StreamYard stream or Alex's TikTok stream?
No, I think I saw it on Alex's StreamYard,
Okay. And
but
then
I think
he was showing a TikTok. Okay.
yeah, I think she got it on TikTok, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that's where it came from.
It seems that I mean Alex, it seems like she's pretty versatile with TikTok.
Oh yeah, she's on TikTok too.
And she can copy them and share them. She seems to be really good with TikTok. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
follow her on TikTok, so I might
Yep,
be able to find out.
that's cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. Let me try to go through a couple. Oh, it says new comments. So let me just plow through these. Oh, golly, this is 40 minutes ago. But anyway, let me try to plow through. So, OTC, I saw you at the court thing today. What happened? They made you leave? Yeah, I saw your short video. Isn't he nice? Oh, I guess for StreamYard it is short, but it was 12 minutes. That was forever to me. So OTC, okay. I was hoping they would let you in. Thank you, OTC. I was hoping too. Yes, I understand. And then I asked them if I can private. I don't want to delete, just some of my. I mean, I'm running out of storage, so I have to do something with my videos. I have to delete something. But just hypothetically, if there was a video that I would want to delete, I really don't want to delete it. I just want to make it private or secret or something like that. So I asked OTC if he was a wizard, and he said, private it. You can private it. And then yes, when I asked, can you really private it? And he said yes, and he said, ask Scarlett. She knows better. So I mean, that's if I could figure that out in the next 12 or so hours, I would like to private it. Otherwise, I'll have to delete it. But
Well, what? I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Why are you running out of storage on what? StreamYard or?
I don't fully understand it. But something has a 50-hour limit. And so I've done 19 streams at 3 hours each. So I'm, really close to that. So,
Oh,
or,
okay.
or it's over. I don't understand it. I don't know who's given me 50 hours. And I tried to delete I'm confused. I tried to delete something and that didn't work. And then I tried to private this and that didn't work. So, I, that's kind of where I have to go, you know, Mal, it's just, I don't know how to get in touch with people. I mean, email is ridiculous. And, I have now gone through the thing and not every, YouTube Liver puts their email. So I'm like, how do you get in touch with these people if you don't, no one gives out their Twitter, although I have now found about half the Twitters of people that I want to. Anyway, I don't, people have offered to help, and Mallory's one. I think I have her email somewhere, but it's just, stuff is just all over the place for me. It's, you know, I try to stay on the laptop, but that only has one email. It doesn't have the two of them, and I can't copy from the other one, and I can't print from the second one. And I mean, I just have Frankenstein's. And all my devices are Frankenstein's. You know, I have cloud for most all of them, but I think I have it set up wrong. But anyway, um, I don't know who has given me 50 hours, but it's getting really close. So I'm gonna have to, and I'm not good at decisions. So I don't know which 4 hour stream to delete first. Like, do you do the ones with the least viewers? Probably. Do you do the ones with the most viewers? Probably not. But I don't.
So, but if you private it, you can keep it, right? It's just private.
I first heard of this through OTC just tonight. I mean, I knew the term, but I didn't
Right.
know how to do it. So I assume I assume it can stay there indefinitely, but I'm sure you can't have 100 hours there indefinitely. But 12 minutes probably I can have there indefinitely. But anyway, let me go down to the bottom here. Ooh, 7 people. Boy, I have missed a lot. So, Joe Buddha, hey, Ava, Rover, is that? Oh, Raven, sorry, Mucho Taco. They won't say
Oh,
it.
hello, Mucho Taco.
You know
I
Mucho
remember
Taco?
you from, well, yeah, I remember him from the, he was on Brittany's channel
Cool.
during the Quentin case, and he helped us find a location with the coordinates. So,
Wow. So I'm jumping all over with the comments, but Mucho Taco says, "Is it just me, or does his hands look like they have a chemical burns, and the thumbnail looks bleached white?" Wow. Uh, I didn't observe that, but when I'm
what
on anyway.
have you seen the video where the cop pulled him over?
I I I didn't watch all of it, but yes, I watched some of it.
I think that's what he's referring to as that one.
And without knowing anything, I'd go, yeah, if you have a bunch of blood on your hands, you might use bleach. You might, do a pretty extreme cleaning.
Yeah, but
So,
I think, a month later, I think that probably would have healed by now. People are thinking that on his wrist, on his right arm, on his wrist, the one that's laying on his leg, they
wow,
think
really?
it's maybe a scar there, a wound. But
Ooh,
that'd be kind of a strange place to get a wound, but it's not improbable.
wow. Yeah. So there's a couple more comments. Raven sends a black heart. Thank you, Raven. It's good to see you. Let me know if the Wi-Fi is. I'm not fishing for comments, Raven, but some people tonight have only commented once. So just let me know that yeah, the Wi-Fi is working. So Ava, hey, hugs. Hey, Ava. Sorry, I don't know how to say it. Joe Buddha, you, Joe, known as half the bottle. G.I. Joe. Really? Is that what that says? Did I say no one is half that? Cool. Thanks, Joe Buddha. Joe Buddha, I agree, Taco. Looks like chemical burns. Man, that's crazy. Joe Buddha, screen caps from the courthouse in and out of the room show the same irritation. Wow, these are observant people. So, um, Tiananmen Square, that's been, they said 2,500 miles, but that's neither of my drive from Vermont to here, or not here. I'm an hour away from it, but from Vermont to Stroudsburg is, I just know hours. 4 hours 20 minutes, and then oh, okay, so 2,500. I guess it's 2,537 to go from Pullman, Washington to Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. So that, I guess that is about what I would be doing. So I'm sorry. Yeah, that is about. I don't I don't plan to go to Idaho. I don't expect to go to Idaho, but I've done stranger things. And once I hit the road, I don't want to go back home. And once I go home, I don't want to hit the road. So I was
You know
kind of
what you might do?
what's
This
that?
is just a this is just a suggestion, but what you might do is you might start maybe doing some fundraising, and then whenever there's a hearing date, go down there and make sure to hide your phone until you go into the courtroom this time, and see if you can get in there for one of those hearings down there, or wait until the trial starts and go down there.
Well,
But
that
I
would be
don't know.
cool.
I mean, it could be a year or two before the trial starts.
Yeah, I guess someone I don't think it was Nancy Grace, but someone like her said, oh, I think it was the 10 p.m. woman, whatever her name is, the one I really like. But I
Ashley Banfield.
yeah, Banfield. So I think she said it could be a year or two or more. And yeah, I
Yeah,
know
it could be.
she sensationalizes. So but um, but as I've said in the past, my life is kind of set up creatively, and usually the only expense I have is gas. So once I get out to Idaho, I would probably not leave. So I would like to get there when he gets there, but that won't happen. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't think anybody will know that it's happened until he's booked and he's in a jail cell.
I had wished I had a little more time, but we don't know. It could. I was so anyway. I was totally wrong today about thinking. I assume you probably heard my theory that I said that Brian with a Y um, thinks he's smarter than everybody, and he wants to manipulate everybody, and he's playing this massive chess game. So I thought he was going to tell everybody that I'm going to waive my rights, but then when the judge asked him, he would look just hypothetically. Um, hey, Gumi, how you doing? I don't know who you are. I usually let people up that are just anyway. Um, Hi, Gumi. I probably won't invite you up, but oh, there's one of those pictures. Yeah, maybe make a few comments if you'd like, but anyway, I'm slow to. Anyway, go ahead. Um, so yeah, I thought he was gonna just lean over to the lawyer and say, "Oh, by the way, I just changed my mind," and then he tells the judge, "I'm not going to waive my rights," just to mess with everybody. Like Idaho probably is here. Maybe one or two or three or five cops are here, and they spent all that money, and and he was like, "No, f you." So I was completely wrong on that. He did waive it, and
Yeah.
he got into that transport van immediately. But he went back to the Monroe County Correctional Facility. He didn't go to Idaho.
Right. I didn't think, I think everything, I agreed with everything until you got to the part of him changing his mind. I had no doubt he wanted to get back to Idaho because
Yeah,
he thinks he's smarter than everybody and all. And I think he thinks he's got some sort of trick up his sleeve,
yeah.
that's going to throw a wrench into the planning.
He wants to exonerate himself.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now,
that's
I also
crazy.
heard, did you hear that?
Hey, sneaker. I don't. I'm not aware of you, so I probably won't invite you up. So anyway, make a few comments. Maybe I'll get to know you a little bit. But usually that takes a couple strings also. But anyway,
Did you hear that the law enforcement and all of that are no longer going to be able to make statements because of a gag order?
oh yeah, dissemination, or it had a title. I
Right.
think I think it was dissemination, which I thought I knew what that word meant. But yeah, that's weird that they're not gonna. And they weren't doing many press stuff anyway. But yeah, it's going
Well,
to be zero.
but they were making press conferences every once in a while trying to keep us updated. They're not going to be doing that any longer. But
Or press updates. Yeah, not
I'm
not not
sure
conference.
I'm sure we'll hear from probably the prosecutor's office, when there's something important that comes along, like the uh, affidavit.
Oh yeah,
I think we'll be able to see that if I think they'll present things like that, but that won't come from law enforcement.
yeah. Joe Buddha says we will have leaks. Yeah, and
Oh yeah,
I do
the
believe there will be leaks, but which
Absolutely.
I think someone will know when he's about to arrive at Idaho. They may not know
Yeah.
when he leaves, but so anyway, that won't be me. So someone else will get that
You
information.
never know.
Yeah, you never know. I talked to Brian Enton, which I will continue to do if I ever get near him. Like, anyway, I didn't finish my story of sleep is optional. And so when I finish this stream, I will probably go to the jail. And I would imagine Brian Enton will be there. And I would reconnect with him again and apologize for the false information that I provided. But I didn't tell him it. I told him it was, I didn't know if it was a good uh, source or not. But so OTC. So Joe, did you get to see Brian being walked to the van after the court hearing? Yes. I streamed it. I was second or third row, so it's not good. I don't know how to Zoom, and anyway, I can explain myself for hours, and which, I could talk about the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 for hours, but that's what happened today. That's why I was asked to leave the court, because I did not explain myself one last time. I explained myself about 4 or 5 times to get to the point where I was, and then I forgot to do it one last time. So I wish I had done it. Anyway, OTC, I'm second or third row. I have the camera way up high, and I went. It's a pretty good shot. I was doing StreamYard, but I can't figure out how to flip the camera in StreamYard. I assume all platforms do that, but I can't figure out how to flip the camera. So
I think you have to do that on your device, not through StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
I think you have to go in your settings and flip it. Your camera settings.
Yeah, that's my mind's glazing over on that. I don't. Plus, the problems I had at the courthouse, I will probably gravitate toward my laptop. I've only had problems with the iPhone. So I will probably gravitate to the laptop, except, it's not clear. It's not a clear video. But anyway, so Joe Buddha. So anyway, LTC, it was probably on Twitter. I think I did 3 or 4 Twitter lives, and the hearing or whatever it was called was at 3:30, and people are getting anxious outside at about 3:50 or 3:55 or somewhere about that. So you can just look for my stream that's just right before 4 p.m. and that would have it. Nothing sensational, but I did cover it. I did catch it. So Joe Buddha, I saw B walk from each door in the courthouse. His hands seemed to be irritated. Yeah, a couple of you are saying that. So let's see. I saw B walked from each door in the courthouse. I assume you mean every door, so going into the building and leaving the building, and then possibly within the courthouse to the courtroom. I mean, that would be a lot of video. So OTC, I will check it out. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to, but yeah, thank you, OTC. Like I said, it might have been 5, but I think I have 4 live Twitters today, or whatever. It's after midnight. So January 3rd, and it was right up around 4 p.m. Right around just before 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is my time. So when you're looking for the tweet, I think it shows my time, not your time. But anyway, I'm sure you can find that. No time flat, OTC. You know all this stuff. Joe Buddha, irritated beyond the cuff line. Ooh, golly. So I haven't noticed any of this, and Joe, you're mentioning it, and then who's that other the taco guy? He mentioned it. So instead of keep addressing that particular topic, how about if we go to the next level? what do you think that implies, Joe? What do you think that implies? That he had blood and stuff on his skin, and so he tried to get the blood off, or he's trying to kill himself and he's trying to smell, so what do you think it means? What do you think it means to have that stuff? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I get that I focus on different things when I'm live streaming. I'm just trying to survive, really. So I'm not looking at his hands for sure. So Joe Buddha, J is for justice. Has footage from inside in case you need footage. Oh, cool, thanks. Inside the courtroom. Oh, and inside the courthouse. Because yeah, I guess the courtroom can't have any cameras. Just if you could clarify that, Joe. And again, I did not plan to live stream in the courtyard, in the courtroom, but I wouldn't put it past some people, so they might have footage. But yeah, is that what you're saying? It's footage inside the courthouse or the courtroom? So, private chat. Whoops. Gumi, why? I'm a longtime viewer. I want to join in on the conversation. Sorry, Gumi, I didn't notice your private chat. Too much going on tonight. But I don't recognize your name at all. So if I'm pretty good. I'm not good at remembering names, but I'm pretty good at seeing a name and figure out that I've seen it before or not. Anyway, I know a lot of people change their names a lot, so you might be someone else that I'm aware of. But anyway, sorry, Gumi. That was 12:47. That was 9 minutes ago, so I probably missed them. But anyway, um, so I did have things to talk about, but I'm as you can probably tell, I'm not feeling it tonight. um, so yeah, BCK in Monroe County. That's we've already talked about that. The stream fuck up. I have already talked about that. Um, the death penalty. That was the interest, and I don't want to get political about that stuff, but it's my understanding, and I think I'm right. It's my understanding that Pennsylvania is not a death penalty state, and that Idaho is a death penalty state. So it's amazing that he waived his rights. He would ultimately get to Idaho anyway, but that's kind of strange. He must think he's above the death penalty.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I remember seeing that somewhere too.
And
Yeah, I think he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and he's going to get away with this.
yeah, he probably does. So Joe Buddha, either a habitual hand washer or it's residual from scrubbing skin, hands, forearms with bleach, chemical burn. Yeah, she has footage from inside the courthouse, going from room to room. So, okay, so she has it within the building, but only to the door of the courtroom, not actually in the courtroom. Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. And it probably will only infuriate me more, but it might be nice. What did he say their name was? J is for justice. Let me jot that down. So J is for justice. Cool. Well, thanks, Joe Buddha. Thanks for giving me your idea. And there's okay. So the other thing, and I didn't get to this. I just saw part of it, but we briefly have touched upon the body cam video of inside the car in Indiana. Now, I don't know if did you see that whole body cam, Lady B?
Uh, I'm sorry. I was looking at some. No, it's the whole body cam on the when he was pulled over.
In Indiana, yes. Did you see the whole video?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. The one thing that stood out to me, which I've only seen portions, but I saw this portion. Um, what stood out to me, which I assume everybody's on this now, but what stood out to me is that the cops were saying, oh, you got pulled over by an SUV. That's weird. We don't have SUVs. So I think what that's saying, or if we would read into that, I mean, we're assuming everybody's telling the truth. We're assuming that they were really stopped by an SUV and he told the truth to the cop. I mean, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Okay, yeah, he told the cop that he was stopped earlier, and he said
Yeah, he was stopped twice.
he said it was an SUV, and the guy said that's strange. It's we don't have SUVs. So anyway, what my hypothesis would be is that means it was probably FBI trying to act like they were cops just to get a look at them or what whatever they give them a soda and try to get DNA, whatever reason they wanted to stop them.
Right. I think too it could have been a different jurisdiction.
It could have, because there's a lot more cops than just city, county, state, region. There's a lot more that could be neighborhood or there's a lot. So yeah,
Right.
it could be anybody with an SUV, but
Oh my gosh, I oh, who was it? Dang it. I was watching I'm trying to remember if it was Criminality or if it was Alex Erickson where they tracked it down, and at the time that he was pulled over,
yeah.
they were looking for the car, but I don't think it was. I think it was far enough back. They were saying he didn't leave till like the 17th of December or something, and come to find out, I think this was on like the 15th that he was pulled over. So they weren't really looking for him per se. Which it's kind of funny, but this does happen a lot with SKs and people that are really have some bad things that they've done that they'll get stopped. It's like Ted Bundy; he got stopped and pulled over. I mean, it's kind of weird how that happens a lot, But at the time, I believe they weren't specifically looking for him. Although, they might have pulled him over because they were on the lookout for that car,
Mm.
but he also changed the plates from Pennsylvania to Washington, just like a very short time before he left.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty wild. What a few people had, when I was shown that, and I don't remember where that was, um, but most of the responses were, "Hey, do you know if that, the dad owned the car first, so they're saying, was it transferred into Brian's name or to the dad's name?" So I didn't ever hear back on, do you know what?
Yeah, my understanding is it's his mom's car.
Oh, okay. I thought it was dad, but okay, cool.
That's what I had heard, was that it was his mother's car, and that this trip was planned um, before he even went to Washington, before the beginning of the school year.
Cool. Hey D, hi. I'm not. I don't recall your name. I generally am pretty strict about who I. Hello. I'm generally strict about who I bring up. Um, I guess I wrote it somewhere that I'm inviting people up or something. But anyway, sorry about that, D. Hi. So I probably won't be bringing anybody up. Um, uh, Lady D is a co-host of mine, a guest co-host or something like that. He's a rock star.
I'm Santa helper.
Santa's helper. So Joe Buddha, screen cap before X, hearing. Oh, exonerate. Yeah, I don't know that word. Of him being shipped back to Idaho. Screen cap. By the way, what is screen cap? You wrote that a couple times, Buddha. I don't understand that. Screen. Do you get that, Lady B? Screen
No, I
cap.
don't.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was just me. Okay, so screen cap before the hearing shows irritation. He even hit his hands, cupped them in a strange way. That is so bizarre. And then, of course, Joe Buddha says, "You are welcome, good sir." Body cam showed a look. Sam Eagle from Sesame Street. The look of guilt.
Yeah, that's the truth.
D High. Yeah, you can check out. I don't drink. I'm in recovery. That's not a good thing to show me. Bye. I don't drink. Bye bye.
I wish I could see what you were seeing. It must be interesting over there.
Okay. I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he's trying to cuss at me with a sign. A sign.
Uh-oh.
I don't get it.
That's no way to get up on your panel, that's for sure.
So sorry, fat fingered spelling, no problem. And OTC. BK arrived in Pennsylvania on December 16th and at his home in December 16th. I'm certainly interested in that time frame. Now, I did print up the school's schedule, and for Washington State University, their exams was December 12th through December 16th, Monday through Friday. Now, not everybody, is in a class. You don't have to have exams on all those days. You could be done by Wednesday, but I also heard, which again I haven't verified any of this, but I also heard that they took 4 days to do the trip.
Yeah,
So
that's what I've heard as well.
don't make me look be. I don't know. You might wanna. So D, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not going to invite you up, and that's a typo. Don't make me look bad. Oh, BE is bad. Okay. Don't make me look bad. I'm not making you look bad. I have never jumped into a screen where I didn't know the person. I've never done that. I know it's pretty common here, but I don't do it. So anyway, OTC, you seem to be pretty good at details and stuff. So, I can always ask for links. So OTC, I don't know if you're in Twitter and stuff, but I'd love to get that link of that time frame. I think it would be neat. So, I mean, if he arrived on the 16th, I mean, if you drove nonstop, that would be December 14th at least, which again is Wednesday. So that means he did all of exams Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah,
So,
I heard that on the exams, normally he's pretty hardcore, but it sounds like, I could be wrong, but it sounds like he was a little more get this done and get out of here instead of being so hardcore. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't as
critical, yeah.
yeah.
And I was talking about his own exams, but he's in a PhD, so he may not have exams. there might
Yeah,
just
well,
there
yeah,
might
I
just
don't
be
know about
papers.
that. I don't know about that, but I believe that he's a a teaching assistant.
Yes.
So I believe that he was also grading exams and things.
So OTC says the exams were over by December 12th. I don't think that's true. I need to print up everything because I don't remember it. And I think I'm not looking at a calendar, but I think December 12th is a Monday. And exams don't have to be Monday through Friday, but it is. Hey D, hi. I just joined the hangout. Yeah, don't make me look bad. I'm not making you look bad. We're talking about Idaho 4. I don't respond to a statement of "don't make me look bad." I mean that's a. And anyway, I don't bend to peer pressure. I just don't respond to those kind of things. Sorry.
Do we remember? Does anybody in chat, or do you remember, Joe, when they first started, when they first put out a bolo on this car?
I'm pretty sure December 7th.
Yeah, I was
I'm
trying to
I'm
remember.
I'm 80% right. I'm not super right. I mean, sure, certain. I'm not super certain, but I think it is. A couple nights ago, someone asked that um, in a stream, and I typed, you know, December 7th, I believe, and then about 8 other people said December 7th. So I
Oh,
I,
good,
I
good.
think I'm pretty accurate on that. But yeah, that's you know, now
The only thing is, you were right. They said 2011 to 2013, and his car was a 2015.
yeah, I think that was intentional. But I was just going to mention along those lines, as far as the two stops in Indiana, and sometimes I get thoughts, and then I just never budge off of them. Um, but I might be giving the law enforcement too much credit, but I firmly believe that both of those stops were planned, and they wanted to get something from him, either just a confirmation of his ID, his face, and stuff, and they didn't plan on stopping him and arresting him, just get something from him. But most people's reaction is those dumb butts. Why didn't they know of them and arrest them? But I think those were planned. I do think.
It very well could be. I mean, we don't know. We don't
Right,
know
right,
what
yeah,
they've said, and I don't think that they physically followed him from Idaho to his home. I don't think they had cars that were like behind him. So it might have been a way to kind of check, is this guy, is this who we think it is?
right, right,
I mean, who knows?
yeah,
But
and
Joe Buddha said something very in his. He said they do have the ability to slap a tracker on him, and
oh,
they do. I mean, they're so small nowadays. They could have just put it on the bumper of his car, or who knows.
golly, Joe Buddha, yeah, you're right. I think I had it highlighted, but I didn't read it. So it says we do have the ability to slap a tracker onto a vehicle body via just touching or applying it covertly. That's crazy, but it
Yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
just like a little magnet.
That is incredible. So screen cap equals screen capture from high res photos. Thank you, Joe Buddha.
Oh, okay, I got that.
I may
That makes
forget it.
sense.
I may forget it the next time I see it, but thank you. Thank you. So, no, December 17th at his home. These dates have been spotted by the news. That is crazy. December 16th in the state of Pennsylvania.
Well, that's
Woo.
what I was thinking. I was thinking he was already back there by the time that people had said he was leaving.
Wow. But so, yeah, anyway, um, the exams for the college is December 12th through 16th. That may not be the exams for that particular student. But anyway, that's the last time I'll mention that. OTC, I've been following this case pretty good. Yeah, you are, OTC. You're kicking butt. I just joined the hangout. Yeah, don't make me look bad. Okay. Do you think showing Everclear would be a great way to get up onto a panel? I guess some people would like to see Everclear, but
No.
I didn't want to see Everclear. Anyway, I think he's gone. He said goodbye. So, Joe Buddha, remember DOT is
What is
federal.
that?
Who, Everclear?
Yeah.
It's 190 proof alcohol.
Oh, I don't drink. Okay.
Yeah, I don't drink either, but like bourbon is, and I might be slightly off, but bourbon is like 80 proof. Anyway, this is 190 proof, so it's almost pure. So he was
Wow.
showing it, and that's what he was drinking, I'm sure. So anyway, he didn't score points with me. So so remember, DOT is federal. The Department of Transportation is federal. If the BI was involved, they flagged, tagged, and bagged the correct person of interest. So I should know what BI is. Do you know what that is, Lady V?
Uh, no.
Sorry, Joe Buddha, my brain's not working. We should be aware of most of your abbreviations. So
Yeah.
remember, the Department of Transportation is federal. If the Bureau of
Body
Investigation.
identification. Maybe body identification.
Maybe Bureau of Investigation. Yeah, I don't know. One of those. Or another one even. Was involved. They flagged, tagged, and bagged the correct person of interest. Yeah, that's, we hope. So, all
Hmm.
right. All right. Cheers. Cheers, man. Have a great night. I hope no one's offended by his comments. I didn't block them or so. I'm just showing them. Have a good night, all. So, Joe Buddha, General Bula, turns out the Gen Bola was incorrect.
Bolo.
Oh, yeah. Uh, Vehicle in question is 2015. Again, I think that's intentional, which I said that, 5 or 7 days ago. But I don't know if anybody, I don't know if you think that, Joe Buddha, but I think they knew what they were looking for. And they weren't really sending us a red herring, but they wanted that Brian and his father to not be concerned because they had a 2015. So I think that's why. Anyway, I guess I guess I'm starting to begin. I'm starting to become a tin hat kind of person. But um, anyway,
Did you hear that when they pulled him over, the father started talking about a shooting in Idaho, no, in Washington, I think it was about, and then he shot himself. He shot his roommates or something, and then shot himself. And everybody's like, why on earth would he bring that up on a traffic stop?
oh my goodness, I didn't see that. I want to go see that whole body cam. Um, and again, if I would just impulsively react to that, I would guess that may mean he was aware of what his son did.
Could be. I mean, it might have been like a distraction or something. I mean, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is a strange thing. I think it's strange. I mean, I have a lot of experience with being stopped by the cops, and I have many dozens of speeding tickets, but I've never told a cop, "Hey, I was just stopped 10 minutes ago."
Yeah.
So usually you don't offer that up. So that was kind of
I
strange.
don't know. I probably would have. That would have been me. I'd been like, "What's going on, man?" I just,
Right.
I
Well,
could see myself doing that, but I didn't think that. But I tell you what, I do think that he was annoyed, very annoyed. If you look at his face, he looks very, very annoyed at the fact that he's being stopped again. He looked like, he looked like he's got what the hell look on his face, like, like what the hell, man.
and Joe Buddha, I didn't comment extensively on your comment, but you said the same thing. Someone Eagle from Sesame Street, he definitely had a skull on his face of some
Oh
sort.
yeah.
So, so Joe Buddha, agree, Joe, 110%, brother.
Oh, I didn't even see he commented to that.
That was 7 minutes ago. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but thank you for agreeing. And Joe Buddha, Joe, sorry, fat fingers. No, I can. I've got a black belt in typos. I can usually read typos. So, Joe
Like,
Buddha, the new plates are FDID capable as well. It bit the distance that can triangulate is pretty big. Are you saying there's some chip in a license plate? Holy poop.
wow, I would think that would be against our civil liberties.
Wow. But I for one,
Hmm.
I for one would love to be a lab rat. I would love to have a chip inside me. I would love to. I don't want to be the expert of my. I hate going to the doctor and the doctor asking me questions. I hate being the expert on my medical condition, which that's who it's supposed to be. But if I had a chip, all that stuff would already be there. So I would. I'd take a piece of rice in my head in no time flat.
Not me.
So let me read that again. So the new plates are RFID, and I think I've seen those. I don't think that's a typo. I think I've seen those before of some kind of chip kind of thing. So RFID capable as well. It bit the distance, split. It split the distance. That can triangulate is pretty big. That's amazing. So Joe Buddha, federal Federal Bureau of Investigation. Okay. You know, it'd only be 3 letters if you did the FBI. Then we'd know what it meant. But yeah, you can type whatever. So Joe, but thanks for explaining it. So Joe Buddha, I remember, Joe, you did say a red herring to a point to console the web sleuths. Could be.
You
You
know,
remember?
you're absolutely right on that RFDI.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Shoo-wee. So
Wow.
so Joe Buddha, you're saying you remembered me saying, and I don't know what I just said 10 seconds ago, but I don't. I guess I did call it a red herring. I generally have not thought any of these things are a red herring. I guess especially for the car, but I just called it a red herring. So anyway, yeah, I guess I am waffling on that. I didn't think it was initially. You know, people are like, this is a red herring. They're trying to keep us busy. They don't want us looking into anything else. So they told us about this car that has nothing to do with the case. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think it's part of the case.
Yeah, I didn't think so either because then you'd be getting all of these reports and everything about all these cars. It's just going to confuse the case even more,
Hmm.
in my opinion.
Which it probably did. But I bet they were.
I'm just saying, you know, why ask for leads on something that has no value whatsoever during in the investigation?
Amen. So yeah. Anyway, Joe Buddha, I probably said it. I mean, I know I called it a red herring, but I don't even. You know, that's not a term I normally use. I don't really. I know what it means, but not really. But I think they intentionally picked the year to fool Brian and his dad. I might be wrong on that. So Joe Buddha, yes sir. RFID triangulate doesn't violate anything. Wow.
Wow,
It's a,
that's crazy.
it's an approval from DOT, Department of Transportation. Yeah, bro, no chip. Right here, right
Boy,
here.
that's really
I,
God.
I want that piece of piece of rice right here.
See,
So
I don't like that.
I know most people don't, and not no, most people. You know, I think you periodically hear. You know, I think Bill Gates has a chip. I think Elon Musk. I think he has a chip. Um, but yeah, I mean, most people don't like having a chip for the the violation or whatever reason. But they're not.
I just don't trust what all information they be collecting on me. Not that I do anything wrong. It's just, you know, who knows? I don't trust it.
So Joe Buddha, who seems to know a lot about Hyundai's. I owned a Hyundai, by the way, but I don't know what year. I don't know what year. Probably 1996 or 1997 or something like that. But I don't. You could line 10 Hyundais of 10 years in a row right next to each other. And I would not notice that one window is different than a door, is different than a bumper. I wouldn't, and I could go back and forth between the cars, and I'd be like, "What are y'all talking about?" So anyway, sounds like Buddha knows. So Joe Buddha, it was a totally different generation Hyundai to 2015 from 2011 to 13. That's amazing. They were frustrated with everyone, and are to throw off subject like you guys said. Yeah, yeah, it really could be all those options. Yeah, you're right there. So let's see here. I don't have any tabs open, by the way. So there's not really much to. Oh, let me keep looking at my. Yeah, the body cam, which I think and then BK. No, I don't really. Um, oh, as far as Brian waiving his rights, and then he didn't immediately leave. The thought I got is I don't do gray, I do black and white. So the black would be he waives the rights and he flies out, within an hour or two. And then the white is he doesn't waive the rights and he's there for up to 30 days. So that gray area, which I mean, it's not really gray. It's only going to be a day or two. But anyway, I'm like, I don't do gray area very well. So but yeah, Brian Ensign, it was nice meeting him. I gave him a little bit of information, which ended up being incorrect. So I tweeted him. He was, when he tweeted, you know, Brian is back in jail in Monroe County, I responded to that and said, hey, by the way, this is Joe Hart. Because he asked me my name. He's like, what's your name? I was like, Joe Hart. I'm a live streamer and other things. He was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. So, um, so I tweeted him and I said, hey, this is Joe Hart. And I'm sorry I gave you the incorrect information. And I haven't, I only do my side of the street. I don't, who knows if he's going to respond. I just need to do my side. So Joe Buddha, I wrap cars. Do you? I've been involved in NASCAR in about 12 years. And I've been trying to get partners and sponsors. And I know it exists to get a free car just by wrapping it. And the people who wrap it can change the wrapper. Anyway, anyway, I don't wrap, but I love wrapped cars. So I wrap cars. So I know them like the back of my hand. I can hide a car. Oh, I can ID a car just from the headlights and taillights in darkness by the pattern the lights display and reflect onto the body. Wow, that's some serious stuff, Joe to Buddha. That's great. So, I think that was all my notes. Did you any ideas over there, Lady V?
Oh, not really. I think we pretty much covered everything from today outside of, I mean, you're a little restrained right now, not being able to have everything up and running where we could go
Right.
catch some links and watch everything. Maybe tomorrow we can do that if you're in a good spot to do that.
Well, I hope so. I'll either immediately go to the jail or after I sleep a couple hours, go to the jail. And then the closest Wi Fi there would be the library. So, yeah, I'd probably go there. Although I'm always restricted by my voice. I'm just too loud. Um, but anyway, yeah, that sounds good. I would like to do that. Now, as as you're getting to know me, Lady V, I'm really not good at all at multitasking. And so when I'm on the road doing that stuff, it's really hard to multitask the other stuff. But I want to do it because that's why I'm on the road. Or that's not why I'm on the road, but that's one of the reasons that
No,
I'm
I understand what you're saying.
doing this. Uh, so Joe Buddha, ha ha ha! I'll be there and watch. Love you guys. Well, thanks, Joe Buddha. I really
Oh,
appreciate
that's sweet, Joe.
that's very sweet. Thank you. I appreciate the support. And but yeah, I think we might be toward the end here. It's only an hour and 32 minutes, which is relatively pretty short for me. But I don't have tabs and stuff to share, and um, I think I just
Are you set up where you can do all of that though if you have a good Wi-Fi connection?
I the the weak link in that for me is to find this stuff, to figure out this stuff. So I think my laptop, I mean, my laptop usually has 20 tabs open, which I don't think is a good idea. I should probably keep it to 10 or 12 or 14 or something. Um, but yeah, but I find something really good and then I forget about it. Like I finally got a Nancy Grace podcast and it seemed like it was free. It said, you know, um,
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
it says Apple, it shows all the things to buy it at, but there's one that's free. So, but anyway, I don't take 20 minutes finding tabs. I take 3.5 hours finding tabs. So it's a major commitment, especially if I want to stand at the jail and just wait until he leaves. You know, which can be up to 10 days. Doubtful, but it could be up to 10 days. So
Did you two see a very strange last name connection yet?
I don't exactly follow that, Joe. Let me
I don't either. I'm trying to figure out what you mean.
maybe if I read it, it'll jar something in my head. Did you two see the very strange last name connection yet? Is that the streamer's name? The very strange last name connection yet? Oh, you're
Kohlberger?
you're talking about Kohlberger to someone else? Yeah, I haven't. Joe Buddha, are you on Twitter? Send me links. Send me links to my NASCAR Inc. right there. So one of my one of my oh, I shouldn't tell this story, but one of my unnamed mods. No, never mind. Anyway, they're my Twitter account is right there, and see that TikTok JoeHart 35 and Twitter NASCAR Inc.
Joe,
So
what I mean, Joe Buddha, what exactly do you mean? That statement's a little vague to me.
now it is Tuesday, and I thought I heard that Steve had some information about Kaylee being connected to the suspect. And then I think but he said, I'm going to wait. And then I think a couple days later, he said, that's not.
Yeah, he said that's not true.
But if it were to be true, isn't Tuesday like now?
Well, yeah, it is Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday right now.
Oh, golly. So there is a family relationship. Now I see his next comment. There is a Kohlberger Gonsalves marriage relationship. What are the
What?
odds of that? Yeah, I haven't
What?
heard of that. That I would.
What? Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. That is bizarre.
That's
Boy, if that's true, that's really something.
I mean, without doing any research, I'd say, boy, that's got to be a rumor. Um,
I do remember hearing something about that, but there's just been so much stuff coming in. Um, and I did not feel well at all the last Tuesday. I did not feel well at all. No, I mean Monday. I'm sorry. I didn't
oh,
feel well
golly.
at all Monday. So, I when I don't feel well, my brain doesn't function very good. But it seems like I do remember hearing a little snippet on the fly about that, but I can't recall it enough to really explain what it was about.
So,
I think
Liza,
was it about no, that's not. Maybe I'm thinking about when he went to that wedding and he had his aunt and uncle buy new pots and pans for him. Maybe I'm just confusing it with that.
hmm, yeah, I hear everybody says his mom and, he made his mom and dad buy new pots. And I'm like, no, that's an aunt. That's,
Yeah, it was his
that's
aunt
not,
and uncle.
yeah, that's not a father. But anyway, so Liza, it's good to see you back. You say, what now is not true.
Hi, Liza.
And then Liza says, I heard about that. So I'm not sure what you're saying is not true. And then I'm not sure what you're saying might be true.
I
But
think
anyway,
she's talking about maybe the family last name connection. Is that right?
that's what it sounds like. It was about that time. And then Joe Buddha, go look at your Facebook. I assume you're just talking about the Facebook. I doubt if it's on my account, but go look at your Facebook. It's there, no BS. That's wild. Now, I assume, without knowing, I assume it's not Brian Kohlberger and it's not Kaylee Gonsalves. It could be someone else as an extended family member, but yeah, I don't think it would be them, but it might be. So, Joe Buddha and the one husband looks like the man in the Kill the Clones movie that was released on the 12th. It is a fake snuff file documentary. That's sick. People do fake snuff? I know
Yeah, I
they,
saw it. I saw that. I saw that movie.
Oh, I don't
It was
believe Steve. Okay.
it was about okay, so basically it's saying that gir- something about girls and all of these things, and the guy keeps killing the clones until only his girlfriend for real is left. I don't know, it was weird, it was very strange. And it came out on the 12th,
Hmm.
and that was a very weird thing. Of course, I don't think that has anything to do with this now. I just think it's a weird coincidence, because if it had anything to do with now, I think that would be a person that would be held in,
Hmm.
you know, in
Right.
cahoots with Brian.
Yeah. And I've heard about the Kill the Clones movie. I'm certain it's not a movie that I'd like to see, but I've
It's
heard of
just
it.
bizarre.
I've heard of it 4 or 5 times throughout the last 7 weeks, so I
Do
know
you
it's
want
true.
you want to know my true? I think it's stupid. If you want to know my true opinion, I
That was
think it was
mine.
very poorly done, and I think it was ridiculous myself. So,
But anyway, Joe Buddha, thank you for the comment. We didn't mean to. But anyway, so Liza says, I don't believe Steve going back on something. So by reading that, I think Liza is saying that she thinks Steve still has something to say about Kaylee and Brian having a connection, is what it
very
sounds
well
like.
may be.
And then Liza says, I heard that they had a political family relationship through a sister. And I'm guessing you mean a sister of Brian's. I guess it could be either of their sisters, but Joe Buddha said marriage, so that's not political. A marriage is a marriage. So, but anyway, yeah, Joe Buddha. I'll try to check that out. That would be relatively big news if something like that was true. Although, I mean, you know, every time I open my mouth about TikTok, I always preface by saying, I'm not victim shaming. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to expand the possible, suspects. And but hearing about this, you know, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but it almost sounds like, we're blaming the Gonzalez for having a relationship with this family. I mean, people don't know who's going to be the serial killers. People don't know. And he's not an SK, but he's a MK. I do believe, although I did see one streamer say he's not even an MK. I thought 4 was the magic number, but it doesn't matter. So,
Well, I tell you what, the profilers and everybody's talking about him, like I've been talking about him. That if he if he isn't now an SK, he would have become one if he hadn't have been caught.
absolutely,
And
he
we
loves
don't
it,
know yet whether he has anything in his past or not.
and I heard they're looking, for any unsolved knifings in Pennsylvania, and I'm sure they'll look, but
So, what are they saying is the magic number for an mass? Because
I don't know
Richard
much.
Speck, he was considered a masked red
I,
rummer.
I don't know either term, and I generally try to stay away from either term. But I, I thought I heard pretty consistently that mass is 4, and it was only one streamer. I mean,
Well, that's what I thought.
I've heard dozens of streamers say he's not SK, but he's MK, and so there's only one. Dozens of streamers said that. So there's only one um, that said he's not an MK either. You all have that wrong. So I didn't. There's 1,000 comments, so I don't follow all the conversations. So I don't know what they said their definition was.
Well, I'd like to see. I'm going to have to see if I can find out what John Kelly said about it.
Yeah, or that Joe guy. Who's that Joseph? He's
Yeah,
got
I
3
can't.
names.
I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
him.
yeah, he was actually John Kelly's mentor.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm John Kelly is growing on me, but I love Grizzly. So if Grizzly is gonna have him as a, how when people come into my stream, I always say, "Hey, let me know where you know me from another stream," and that's because I suddenly, you know, I go from knowing them zero. If they say T Rev, then I instantly know them 20 or 30%. And so again with Grizzly, just by Grizzly inviting him in, he already jumps up to 50% for me. But he's still growing up. I'm not quite there yet for him. So
Yeah.
Liza,
Well, those guys are, yeah, they're kind of legends. So yeah, I would fall back on whatever they say, but um,
amen.
I can't. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I can't. There's just been so much going on that
Yeah.
I'm going to
So
have to check into that.
yeah, sure. So Joe Buddha, there is a relationship marriage that is listed as Koberger Gonsalves. The odds are less than the Powerball. That is crazy. I don't like the word crazy, but that's amazing. So Liza says, I do believe he is an SK. Wow.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
He could be. My personal opinion, which I have very limited experience and I know zero about SKs, but my limited experience is I would say I think this is his first, and he went for four. He knew that he knew where all six people were, and he went for four, and he succeeded. But yeah, I think it's his first. I don't have 10 bullets of why I think that, but I could probably list some. But yeah, anyway. So Joe
You
Buddha
know,
said,
it was funny when I first started talking about an SK, people kind of needled me on it a little bit. And I have never, I considered, of course, other avenues and stuff, but I have never wavered from that at all.
"Wow,
I
I,
just, and
I
I don't jump to that. That's not something that I jump to. I haven't thought about that in, got 20 years or more.
that's
So,
wild. I mean,
but it just reminded me a lot being a teenager and young 20s in the 80s, it just reminded me a lot of that time period in my life. And I don't know, I just got this gut feeling that, yeah, this guy was either a budding SK or he is an SK. And I wouldn't be surprised if we found out
yeah,
he
sure.
didn't do at least one other.
I mean, what did they say? 50% of homicides are successfully. I mean, so that's 50% that are not. I can't think of the
Right.
word. But that are anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a ton of cases that could
Well,
fall
and
in.
we just got his DNA.
Right.
So who
It,
knows when they put it in CODIS what they're going to find.
amen. So Joe Buddha says, ha ha ha. I think I said, I know I said the SK, I said it out loud. Now, it's my understanding for StreamYard is that the only time it matters whether you get struck or not is when you're monetized. And I am way far away from being
Yeah,
monetized. But
that's true.
but anyway, I like to get into the practice because I could certainly cuss and I like to get into that practice. So thanks, Joe Buddha. So, Liza, more than two in the last seminary century? More than two. Okay. I think she's trying to define, she might be defining a mass murder, a mass K. More than two in the last, I'm sorry, Liza, I don't know what the seminary is. I know what seminary means, but the profile nurse said in the channel, surviving the survivor. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Joe, you have a great instinct, Mama. Yeah, I think that's you, Mama.
Thank you.
Yeah, Joe Buddha, that's very nice. So Liza, you know when you look at somebody's work and you can say they're great or experienced. Oh, that's what seminary means? You know when you look at somebody's work and you can say they're great or experienced. Wow. So more than 2 in the last seminary, the profile nurse says in the channel. Surviving the survivor. Cool. Thanks, Liza. All right. I think I was starting to say goodbye like 10 minutes ago, and we got a flurry of comments. So I just wanted to catch up on there. But yeah, I think I'm going to head out, Lady B. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I'm not really tired right now. So I might. I'm a little concerned about going to the jail in that these truck stops, I mean, I'm spoiled. Most truck stops are 10, 15, 20 miles away, and these are not. These are an hour and 20 minutes away. So
Wow.
that's my only concern is that once I leave here, I won't have this Wi-Fi. I can have other Wi-Fi, and I won't have this shower and parking and sleeping and all that stuff.
Right.
So that's the only thing I might read. I know Brian Enton goes to sleep sometime, but I'll probably read his stuff to
Does he?
see.
I don't know. I think that dude stays up 24 hours,
He's
7 days a week, 365 a year, man. He seems
he
like he's always on the ball.
he is posting a lot of stuff for sure. But I might look to see if he's given any indication of any movement or anything like that. Because I mean, I'm he told me, and I can only believe what I believe what he says. So he told me he's not leaving until tomorrow to finish up stuff. And but then he immediately asked if I had heard any. I think he's staying for other reasons too. But there's no other place to be right now than the jail. There is no other place. So I'm, at the courthouse when I showed up, I found Brian Ensign because I knew he was first, and his setup. No one was at News Nation. No one was at their tent, but I knew it was theirs because it was the closest to the courthouse. And I asked 2 people to the left and 2 people to the right, and they said, "Yep, that's News Nation." I said, "Do you know where Brian Enton is?" I mean, I said, "I'm sorry, I'm asking questions not about your tent, but do you know where Brian Enton is?" And they're like, "Well, we don't know him." And I was like, "How about News Nation?" And they're like, "Yep, that's it right there." So anyway, I'm sure at the jail he will have the closest tent to the exit door. So, and if he's going to sit there and drink a cup of coffee, I mean, holy poop. I don't think there's anybody I'd rather be talking to than him.
True. Or anybody that maybe, is taking a cigarette break or something and can tell you a little bit in pieces.
Right. And I like to, I mean, I do have to watch out because once I'm allowed to ask one question, then I might ask 75 questions. So I do have to back off a bit. Uh, but yeah, I think at the jail, I would imagine there is some traffic of media person and press people and various people around. So yeah, it would be.
Yeah, my theory is, you never know until you ask whether they're going to supply anything or not. So if you're not willing to ask and put yourself out there, you won't never find out.
And him in particular, I felt I was blown away that he asked for my name. Now he might, they might do that for all potential. You know,
Yeah, he might just be impolite. I understand what you're saying. But,
or
they'll probably remember you too. So,
yeah,
and if you
or
continue in this true crime community, you may build an invaluable connection.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, uh, I got into one courthouse, so I could probably continue that if I am more
Yeah, I
aware.
mean, I would think if you keep showing up, Joe, and you show your press badge, sooner or later they're going to be like, "Hey, we know this guy. We've seen him around,
Right.
a lot."
Boy, I'd love to
But
be in Idaho. Ooh, that'd be cool. All right. So Joe Buddha says, I trust a woman's intuition over all.
I feel bad for you.
I agree with you, Joe. I think a lot of women say they have intuition, and a lot of men say my women have intuition. So it seems to
Yeah,
be a real thing for sure.
sometimes, yeah. I think it's just age and experience myself.
That could be it. That's for sure.
But yeah, I have to go to Joe because I have to get up and be at the dentist early in the morning.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I'll just finish up here and say goodbye and stuff. So yeah, that would be great.
all right.
But thanks for coming up for sure.
Oh, it was my pleasure, Joe. And hello, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. I hope that you all have a wonderful evening and be safe until I see you next time. Well, be safe even after that, but just be safe, okay? Love
Just
you
be
guys.
safe. All right. Thanks,
Bye
Lady
bye,
B.
Joe.
See you, Lady B. Thanks. So Joe Buddha says my uncle was judge of orphans court in Baltimore. He said the same. He was in power for over 35 years. And then Liza, no, we are born with that intuition. Amen, Liza. I've got an ex-wife and I have a kid. I guess I'll just say I have a kid. Um, so yeah, I kind of believe all that stuff. Okay, guys, I'm gonna head out. I am starting to get tired now. Ciao, ciao from Liza. Ciao, Lady V. Okay, so um, anyway, I'm not going to do my usual goodbye because I didn't do my usual hello. I am uh, Salvador Buddha said the same thing. Trust a woman's intuition. Man, don't divulge too much information. For sure. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take off. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Liza. Where'd you go for a half an hour, Liza, or an hour? You disappeared and then you came back. So you could have been washing dishes and listening and stuff. It's good to have you back. And then D Highs, OTC, um, Ava Hawkshaw, Raven, and Mucho Taco. Tiananmen Square. You don't ever tell me if I'm saying your name correctly. I would love to hear. And OTC. So I think that's it. Yeah, I got lost. No, no, that's all right. I'm sure there's tons of streams. Yes, I got lost. That's all right. Cool. Thanks for coming back. Love to all. Be safe. Be blessed. Anyway, I'm gonna, as usual, end the broadcast. 2 buttons, and then the comments can keep going because I checked my 6 streams, and I do it way longer than anybody else. So comments will probably be available for 15 or 20, 15 minutes. Not that you have to keep commenting, just to let you know. So, okay, take care, Joe. Thanks, OTC, and Joe Buddha. Purple Heart. Thank you for the Purple Heart. So, I'm going to hit the first end broadcast, and I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, end broadcast. Now there's a second button. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1.